crashed down to 86K, and in today's episode I want to go over how low do we think that Bitcoin can actually go in this bear market. Welcome back to FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Right now it's about 6 p.m. Eastern time and the price of Bitcoin is currently at 87,830. And let's start off here with the weekly chart. Right now we see that we are losing the 80 moving average that's currently at 89,870, so that's going to be resistance pretty much. I was telling you guys, it looks to me like we're headed towards this 100 moving average, this blue line at 83,242. Now I do have this rising wedge, and I would say that this pretty much already played out, and this is a winning trade. We don't have that much to go. Right now the measured move is pretty much like around 77k, so we could fall right now as low as that. Now to me, we are currently in the bear market because we lost the 50 moving average with a candle here last week. If we close again below the 50 moving average, which is currently at 102,689, this is going to be the confirmation candle. So can Bitcoin really get back up to about 103k and close above the 50 moving average? I don't know if that's going to be possible. Let's see. We still have 3 days and 1 hour. Now something I wanted to go over with you guys is we have to go based on what has happened in history, which is pretty much playing out now. Last time that we lost the 50 moving average here, we see that we got into the bear market, and during the bear markets we usually go down to the 200 moving average and actually go below it. As you can see here, this is when we went to about 16k. Many people thought we would never go below 20. So if we follow that same history pattern here, we already lost the 50, which means we're probably in the bear market. No, this is going to take a while, but eventually we're going to go down to the 200 moving average. That's currently at 55,565. Obviously with time, it might come up a little bit, but we usually go under the 200 moving average for a while. So we could definitely expect to go down even to 40k again, even to 35k. Who knows even if 30, and who knows if even lower. In reality, in trading, you can never think that you know what's going to happen because you're always going to get surprised. Anything can happen. So we pretty much know that we're probably going to go down at some point to the 200 moving average and possibly below. So right now I'm thinking we could even see a 35k Bitcoin, a 40k Bitcoin. Again, in 3 days we could get back above this 50 moving average. All of a sudden we're at all-time highs and the bear market gets thrown to the side for later on. Anything again is possible, but this is what's looking like right now. Now we are low here on the stochastics RSI. I'm thinking that what's going to happen is on the 2 week, this also closes in about 3 days. We're getting close to this 50 moving average, but we still have a lot more here on the stochastics for the 2 weeks. I think the week is going to continue to drag until this 2 week kind of resets, and I think maybe the 2 week and the 1 week and the day and the 6 day, the 5 day, all of these things are going to come up together. Because if you can see, the 6 day stochastics are still dropping down, the 4 day is still dropping down, everything's on the floor. So it's like they're waiting for something before coming back up. And I really think that at some point we will be testing the 50 moving average, but that's currently close to 102,687. I think we're going to continue going down until the 50 moving average is possibly below 100k. I don't think if we are in the bear market they're going to want to let it go above 100k. I might be wrong, but I think we might still see more downside, and once we're below 100k with the 50 moving average, we'll probably go up to retest it and probably reject from there. At some point in the bear market we usually do go up to the 50 moving average. We also go back to test the 200 moving average on the daily. That's currently at 110, so that's kind of high. So if something's going to get tested again, I think it's going to end up being the 50 moving average, which is lower, but I do think that's going to be below 100k when that ends up happening. Now I wanted to go over some other higher time frames because in the short term everything looks bad, but how does it look in the long term? Unfortunately, it does also look bad. If we go to the year, the 12-month here, right now we're red. So if we close like this means that basically Bitcoin hasn't even made any gains technically within this year. If you never sold on the top and you did a round trip, you're actually losing right now on Bitcoin. If we go to the 6-month chart, we have a red candle as well. The 3-month chart, we have a red candle, and look at this, we're toppy. So if we're toppy on the 3 months, that kind of shows that we're probably still going to continue having more downside. And following the same rules I usually follow for trading, when you're far away from the 21 moving average, we either have to go sideways, wait for the 21 moving average to catch up to price, or we have to fall down towards the 21 moving average. That's currently at 53,547. So with this being toppy, us falling down, it looks like we might be headed that way. We take a look at the 2-month chart. Look how we're double top here. The RSI is also on the way down. We're far away from the 21. That's also at 59. By the time this resets, where is Bitcoin's price going to be? On the 1-month chart, we have bearish divergence. We rolled over here again. I'm thinking that maybe here we could double bottom, maybe not have to go all the way down. And look, we're about to lose the 21 moving average. I remember a point in time when we were far from this 21 moving average, and I kept on telling you guys we're too far from the 21. And look, we finally reached it. That's currently at 86K. We lose this 21 moving average now in November going to December. I really do see a lot lower prices here. And look, in the last bear market, we went below this 50 moving average. This 50 moving average is currently at 55,597. So if we go below it, we probably would be seeing some type of prices in the 40Ks. Now in the 3-week chart, you see that we're still rolling over as well. This still has 17 days. We already lost a 21 moving average. We want to go towards the 50 moving average. That's at 67K. So there's nothing here in the higher time frames that's showing that we could probably get some type of big rally, go back to all-time highs. They all actually look bearish. It actually looks like we will be going for more downside. This is why I think that we are truly in the bear market for right now. Usually the bear market, if we topped out in October, we usually will see the lows maybe a year later or so. So probably by next October is when we'll see the low. Maybe we could see it sooner if they start cutting rates or whatever once Jerome Powell leaves, maybe in May, April, May, June, maybe that'll be the end. The point is that right now I believe we are in a bear market. I just don't know how long this is going to last. All right, so let's take a look at the other time frames now. The 3-day, like I'm saying, the stochastics are still low. We're losing the 200 moving average here again. So if we lose that, the next one is going to be towards the 4-day, and that's at 77K, which makes sense with this rising wedge measured move taking us to 77K. And this looks like we're probably where we're headed. If we take a look at the 2-day chart, stochastics are still rolling over here. On the daily chart, this still hasn't reset. We're still far away from the 21 moving average. Again, I'm thinking we're going to get some type of relief rally at some point, but we could definitely drop into the 70s before that even happens, and maybe we only make it to 90K. So just because we'll end up getting a relief rally, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right now. And the 22-hour chart, we were on the way up. Now it's starting to roll over again. We take a look at the 10-hour chart where it's double topped here. We never even made it to the top. We're rolling over again. We got rejected off this 21 moving average at 93K. That's another thing. The other day we went up to 98K, then we dropped, I believe it was to 89. From 89 we went up close to 94K. We never made it to 94K. It was like 93,700. Then we dropped down to 88K. From that 88K yesterday, I think we went up to 92K and change, and then now we dropped down to 86K. So we keep on getting lower highs. Next rally, are we even going to get past 90K or 91K? What if we get stuck below that? We just keep on gradually coming down, coming down, coming down. The 4-hour chart, as you can see, we went down, we curved back up, we went down again. Again, rejection off this 21 moving average. The 1-hour chart, stochastics are on the way up, but we're far away from this 21 moving average. Probably by the time we get to the top of the stochastics, we'll probably get rejected off of this 21 moving average at 90,112. And yesterday on the 15-minute chart, I had this possibly coming up, but I told you guys, if we get rejected off the 200 moving average, then we're probably going to get more downside. And just like I said, we got rejected off the 200 moving average, and this is when we ended up falling down to 86K. So once again, there's no strength here. We have not been able to get above this 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart. Stochastics are toppy. It looks like we're about to lose the 21 moving average. So right now, guys, the pattern I'm looking for is to finish off the measure move of this weekly chart and possibly go from 83K to about 77K. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe. And if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is FlexCandle, where we read the candles and flex the moves. Catch you on the next chart.